Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Racing Tracks mod, which is being made by user Zorkaz. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, race tracks for you to use with whichever your favorite drivable vehicle mod may be. And I really like this mod. It's one of those weird, wacky, kinda pointless, but just plain old fun mods to mess around with, and I love it, as who doesn't love racing a vehicle? Granted, it is a little bit wonky, because, I mean, it's Fallout 4, and that was not made for driving, but it works well enough. Now, as for how you do get access to these race tracks, well, that's why we are here in the memory den, as these tracks haven't been added to the outside world of the Commonwealth. No, they're added in to a VR world. Now, that brings me to the first thing I need to tell you about. The requirement for this mod is the Memory Pod framework, which is actually another mod made by Zorkaz, and it's meant to add a fun little memory space where you can access various virtual worlds from a memory lounger. So if we just jump right on into the memory lounger here, which I'm pretty sure I broke this one earlier because I just phased through it now rather than opening it up, but oh well, what are you gonna do? We come into, of course, the memory space, where for our purposes, if we turn around, we could either leave here by hitting the memory lounger, or go to these tires here to access the racing track. So yes, let's click that, and we'll be brought into our little racing playground that doesn't just have one racetrack. No, in fact, it has 4. Now we'll spawn into the track called Suburbia, which is a basic suburban little town, or well, really, I guess, housing development that takes the track itself, goes through the development and into the woods. Now, along with Suburbia, if you head off from the bridge down the river, you actually access the Waterfall Lake. Now, this technically isn't a racetrack, it's more of just a place to explore and mess around your vehicle with on a lake, but still a fun one. Now, also off of Suburbia, off of the main road, we have the tunnel, which, though not a circuit race, it's more of a drag race style thing where you go from point A to point B. But the fun part about point B is it leads into the final of the 4 tracks, the Rugged City, which, like Suburbia, is another circuit track, this one taking you through the post-apocalyptic wasteland, which is always fun. But one of my favorite parts, personally, though, besides the tracks here, is where we actually spawn, where we have the garage, which is basically your base of operations here in the Racing Tracks VR world, and it is, as you can see here, a full workshop for you to play around with. You can build whatever VR-style home you want here with whatever goods. But of course, the main reason for the workshop here is so that inside this virtual space, you can build whatever vehicle workbench you need to get your car or motorcycle here. For instance, I have my motorcycle right here that I got from the bench. Now, besides that, the garage area is important. If we head on inside, through this door is the exit back to the memory room, and from the memory room you can of course head back into the real world. But let's avoid doing that right now and actually jump on my motorcycle here and show you around the different tracks, starting with Suburbia. So let's go ahead and ride the Lone Wanderer and start heading forward. Now we have the start line here, which if I throttle the motorcycle up, we sort of ride through this suburban neighborhood, coming up to this banked turn off this little ramp, and then into my personal favorite part of this particular track, the woods. I don't know, I just like the rugged off-road bit here. I think it is pretty cool. Even got a nice little farm you can check out right there. And then, of course, we leave the woods, go over the bridge, And then we have one more bit of amusement with this little ramp. And then we're back into Suburbia for the finish line. And of course, our entrance to the garage. Good times! Now, if I sort of cut back through this way a bit, we'll head over to the bridge where we'll talk about the second of the tracks. But like I said earlier, not really a track. It's more of just a watery playground. If you go off the bridge here from either side, you hit this river, take it down, and you'll come up to the waterfall lake. Now, I'm not actually going to take my motorcycle down there because it doesn't float. I'm actually a little bit curious about this because on the mod page, it has the mod maker driving through this thing with the Jeep mod. But whenever I try to take my motorcycle down there, we sink and get stuck. But if, I guess, maybe the Jeep mod works, or if you have some sort of boat mod here, which those do exist, you can place yourself a little boat down there, go around the different buoys, around the lake to the waterfall there, and there's even a fun little jump. But sadly, yes, my motorcycle does not survive the water there. I thought maybe it was a glitch, but I was thinking maybe with the image that was on the mod page, maybe there was like a hidden wall, basically, just under the water. But nope, you can dive right through the water as a person and swim right down to the bottom. So I do not get that place. But hey, if you do have a boat, enjoy it. Now, also off of Suburbia here, off the main road, we have the entrance to the tunnel, which is just, like I said, a simple point A to point B tunnel for you to drive through and try and make it to the end as quickly as possible. And it does also serve as the entrance to, I think, my favorite of the tracks, the Rugged City, as it does bring us back into the more post-apocalyptic world we're used to. And we even have some Super Mutant and Raider viewers there who are going to enjoy the race. Good time. So let's take a little ride around this one. Throttle up the motorcycle again there. Excellent. And we just sort of round the corner over here. We got all sorts of broken up road. Got a nice checkpoint right there. We then get into a bit where you can either go down into some water, which thankfully you can drive over, it's shallow, or go up above. Watch out for these cones because they are actually mines. Let's actually go ahead and hit one of them here. And kaboom! I'm frozen, and it will slow you down even if you're all the way throttled up. So yes, watch out for the cones. But yeah, we come back around the corner here, and we can see the finish line just up ahead. Now, once we get up here, we're going to take a look at something you may have noticed as we went around Suburbia, the tunnel, and of course, here in the Rugged City, and that is these terminals. These are the racing terminal, and so far, we've just been kind of riding around randomly, enjoying the racetracks. But the terminal actually gives us a race to do. As you can either, it's all time trials, unfortunately there's no like AI or anything like that, but you try and beat the time. With 35 seconds you get a XP out of it, and a lot of XP, or 60 seconds you still get some experience, but not quite as much. Now, on all tracks you should be able to get both of these. On Rugged City, 35 seconds is a little tough, but it is doable. Suburbia, it's quite easy. The tunnel, kind of in between the two there. And of course, Waterfall Lake, being just a lake to mess around in, doesn't actually have a race like this to do. It is purely just an area to screw around in. Well, let's do the 60-second race here, and the race won't start until we cross the start line. And when we do, we actually get some fun little sound effects. So let's throttle up. And there we go, finish in 60 seconds. Oh, there was a new cone that just spawned right there. Fun times. There we are, let's throttle up good. We're gonna hit a checkpoint here in a second where we get another audio thing. There we go, past a checkpoint. Then let's head on over here, over the truck. Beautiful. That one cone is gone now that we exploded earlier. And keep on moving until, of course, we hit the finish line, where not only if we finish before the time ends, we win and get applause, but we get experience. And there we go. We got 200 experience. We got some applause. Good times indeed. Let's actually head back through the tunnel here. And we'll do the tunnel one real quick. I'll do all three of them just briefly for you to see the race. I mean, we already have driven around all of them. But, I don't know, I still like the fact there is the time trial-y bit here. So let's turn ourselves around. Oh boy. Oh boy. This thing does not have the greatest turning circle. There we go. There. No. There we go. Ah, my driving in video games. And yeah, we'll do the 35-second one. There we are. And we will ride. And again, once we cross the start line there, it will begin. As you can see, we now also have things in our way in the tunnel. When you're just traversing the tunnel to get back and forth between Suburbia and the rugged city, it's just a tunnel. But when you start a race, there's obstacles. And there we go. We beat it there quite nicely. And yeah, the obstacles will stay for now. It always just seems to be when you first load into the world, or actually anytime you do load in to the racing world here, these things will be gone, but once you start a race, they will remain until the next time you come into the race. And yeah, let's finish off by doing the one last race here in Suburbia. Good times. We'll just do, we'll do the 35-second again. See if I can make it this time. I'm pretty sure you can. And go to ride. And let's move. All right, throttle up, throttle up, throttle up. Hit the ramp for style points. Beautiful. Not that it actually ramps you. As you can see, the track did change up a bit from last time we drove around it. There were a few more obstacles back there, which is cool that it does change a bit when you do start a race. I do like that little feature. Again, just like with the tunnel, though, it seems to reset itself once you reload into this world, but I actually kind of like that. I think it's a fun little feature. Let's avoid the ramp this time to just cut for the finish line, and applause. We won the race, and there we go. And that, my friends, is the Racing Tracks mod. I love this thing. It's an odd, weird little thing that honestly doesn't serve much of a purpose besides just being weird entertainment, and I love that. I would like to see some more race modes, like maybe a multi-lap race thing. I don't think it's possible, but it'd be amazing if there could actually be other racers. But yeah, I don't think that is going to be a physically possible thing with Fallout 4. And honestly, I actually would like to see like a racetrack in the world that would use this same sort of racing terminal system. I think that would be pretty cool. But that is gonna be it for this particular video, my friends. If you'd like to check out this mod for yourself, which if you have a vehicle mod, I definitely say to check it out and have some fun with it. But yeah, you can check out the link in the description for that. But that is going to be it for today, my friends. I hope you all have enjoyed. And, of course, that you do come back for the next episode when, hopefully, we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a good one. And that is where my motorcycle dies in the water. Cool. Did I lose a tire? Huh. Later, folks.